today is going to be a big day. See my washer fluid thing. Maybe you got to see it. I don't know. It came on last night. I make my own. I don't buy washer fluid. I just rather do it myself. It costs about 1/20th as much and does just as good. I'm going to paint the water pump today for the Bonneville. I'm going to pull the oil pan off the Spitfire. I'm going to put on that 1113 kit on the Spitfire. No update on the shipping of the exhaust system yet. I'm going to work on that little table. I'm going to try to keep busy. So anyway, we'll see how it all works out. This thing holds like 15 gallons. It almost holds as much washer fluid as it does coolant or something else. But the tank is right in front of the left tire, if you're wondering where it is, and I've had to rebuild it a couple of times. It'll start leaking, and it's not hard to mess with, but you just got to take the wheel off to get to the washer tank. The joys of modern cars. So you can tell here where the washer fluid is. Now I'm going to just take you over, and I got to go over here first. Don't get too dizzy here. Let's see, where's my denatured alcohol? Now, you know what that means, don't you? It means you can't drink it. So it's no longer a part of nature. So don't drink that. And that's the reason they denature it, is to keep people from drinking it. So just go to, don't go to North Carolina, go to South Carolina and buy everything. Don't buy anything here. So trust me on that. I've been here long enough to know. So this thing here, which has a little bit of antifreeze in it, to be honest with you, that's just not much of a problem. It's just, the thing about antifreeze is it can mess up your paint, but it takes a pretty good amount of it to do that. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. So I don't know, she holds a lot. So what I do is, I don't think we have to worry too much about freezing temperatures right about now. Always keep your jug precariously perched on the motorcycle lift. That's probably more than enough for my purposes. There's a little bit of junk down in there. So we will usually do this anyway. You don't want your jets all fouling up here. Putting you down, guys, done a lot lately, but see, I got a big bunch of these filters. See, nice, huh? Only buy the best. And don't put them down anywhere. You're just going to contaminate them. So what I will do is I will take this and I'll just fold it up in my back pocket. And then I'll get, let's push that on there a little bit more. See, that is for, like they say, clean burning fuel for alcohol stoves. And it is pretty good stuff. I always wondered when I was a kid what, this is just plain old Dawn. I just use it in this particular form. And that's more than enough. And then I'll have to make some distilled water tonight. How much is in that? I think, that fell. How'd that get over there? The wind blew it, is how that happened. Okay, so, come on, baby. All right, and that's about half a gallon. Don't get too abrupt here because you don't want it foaming up too much. Yeah, there's some trash floating around in there. Well, I know the lid hit the floor. So, there's this. Now you can pay, what do you think I got into this so far? A dime. So, of course, I came in here and there was a bird in here today. Now, what I don't use here, I'll just put in something else. Let's see what that does. And I'll show you how I guess that purple stuff got down there a little bit, didn't it? Well, blew that all the way over. Let's see if I can do all this with one hand. Yep. Can't wait to get on Lucy today. The old Spitfire. So just put this back because I think even if I need more, I'm not going to put more in it. If she takes all this, all the better. Okay, remember this? So you can just fold it a few times and just sort of stick it like that in there. Seems like I did this one time, but maybe I was thinking of something else. Just about like that. Now you got to be sure and get those screens down in there a little bit, okay? Okay, just pack that down in there. These things are obviously disposable. And then we will slowly pour. She took almost about 1.2 gallons, 2 liters, I guess. I don't know. No, 4 liters. Because a liter's a little bit more than a gallon. And it just snickered at that. Didn't care about that even a little bit. So I used to have a tip for that thing. Maybe that's why it got junk in it. But for now, I just shove some plastic bags in it. Okay, let's see what we captured here. That'll be more than enough. I gotta push her up a little bit, don't I? Yep, I will push this car if need be. And let's see what we got. Yeah, there's little bits of trash in there, so pick it up later. Alright, let's push her up and then we'll talk about something else. I don't want y'all to think that I'm a messy guy. And so I did pick up my stuff and put it in here. So let's talk about this. Let's see how this is going. Jorgensen's clamps, once you get the hang of them, they're great. That's an old-fashioned one. That's hard rock maple. That's not soft rock pine from some points that we won't speak about here. So here is the pulley off, Bonnie. And I wanted to make sure that one of these drill patterns is correct. So, no, that don't look too good. There you go, right there. Boy, that's nicely precisionally made. And the oil filter, the water pump. Blew that one, didn't I? Okay, the nice precisionally made, isn't it? And the water pump ain't bad either. Okay, Moo Moo Pei Pei dog face in the banana patch. So we're going to get some brake clean and spray this thing. Let's see what this looks like. That's not bad considering. And which reminds me, we're going to get some brake clean in a minute. Let's go back over here. I've got so many things going. I'm always curious the next day to see how much oil is in stuff. Okay, let's put this back. And this. Okay. Let's not drop it and break it at this late date, huh? So let's take this one off. Now, oh, these are great clamps. And all you gotta do is pull trigger and she'll come down. And I just quick grip them to the tabletop there. As long as you don't let them fall on you and mess up your whole day. So let's see what happened here. Like I say, I did not use Gorilla Glue on this because I didn't want it foaming out everywhere. Now that doesn't look flat, but it is flat. And so Alright, well, that down there ain't going to hurt us too bad. It's real flat here. It's about the best it could be done. And I'll tell you something that happens when a piece is broken and sits too long. Sometimes it can absorb a little bit more moisture through the break, and I think that's what happened to us. Here. So we got that, and let's just put that back here for safekeeping. And I feel relatively sure that that's going to be okay. So that's the great stuff, and looks better than it did. Okay, so we'll put that there. So we need some brake clean, right? Well, not enough in there to spit with. Well, all of those are about empty. But since we're on production here, I will just use this one. So got to brake clean it. And this is sort of meatball job here. You can see the dirt running off of it. And then that will dry. I wonder what they put the little blue dot there for. Okay, that's good enough. I could have used my little red sprayer, but let's put this back here. And that can just twist in the wind, and then we can get this. Not a sponsor. I might have to order some more of that online, because I got to paint the block of the car when it gets here. So let's see, it'll drop in a minute, and let's let that go. Drip dry out here in the wind. Okay, we'll see what that looks like in a minute. And paint it. Yeah, I was going to strap this onto the wheel of the 2305 tractor and shake it up, but I see guys do that. All right. Look at that. It is dripping. It drips. It has been here for almost 20 hours, and it dripped, and there's more oil in there than you think. So let's get this oil pan off and see about cleaning it, and we will powder coat it. Okay, let's long contiguous videotaping here. Let's stop that, okay? So I'm a light coat, let it get tacky, then spray it again kind of a guy. But this is basically not very important. But it will rust if you don't do this. I mean, you can clear coat it if you felt like it. So, oops, little bug there. So I don't want it to rust on me. I've already had that happen on a couple of things. So just give her a little dance there. You don't have to go real far. But I had that TR4 head rust on me, and I won't forget that. Okay, there you go. Now let's go up here. I am going to show you something that, where did I put that thing? There it ain't. It looks like it because it's the same color. And it's fine, I don't need no lid on it. Okay, so I'm going to take you over here and show you this because it's hermetically sealed. And this is one of my rants here. Let's get this nice. That's a good thing. I've kind of gotten the hang of that. So you can tell that I've got my Rock Auto box here. I don't know how you can tell because everything else is spread out so thin around this place. So let's go here. We're going to actually have a steel shot. Can you believe it? Let's see if I can. You might as well be in behind the scenes here a little bit. So I wonder if we got the Oldsmobile magnet or what today. We will find out. So she's completely sealed. I had it sealed. I had to run a bubble there because I showed something. So I wanted you to see that. So let's go in and let's see if I'm right or wrong on what's in here. I think I know what's in here. Let's see who we got. I'm gonna save that till last. We're not gonna look at that. Don't y'all looking at that. And So I've got a bunch of, this is stuff for the Healy. Healy condensers are a little different. The wiring is a little different. What you run into with these mix of points and stuff is that hole can be in various sizes because the points have different. Okay. Well, I thought I only asked for, maybe there's just two in there, huh? That's what goes on the Jaguar over there. I think I only asked for 6. And they sent me 8. Golly. Yep, they sent me 8. That's okay. Maybe one of them's cracked. Oh, I know what it is. I got this 11 YCs. I remember now. It's my fault. I just was confused. I got 2 of the 12 YCs because that's what goes in Lucy back here. And I already had 2, so I only needed 2 more. Okay, well, that's what that is. So let's go into this. Okay, and these are points. And what I'm talking about here, get ready. Well, these are a little different. So these don't have the, well, yeah, I guess you could look at it this way. Right here's sometimes where you'll find differentials where the wiring things won't work on them. That is for the Spitfire. That's AC Delco stuff there. That's better than a lot of places. This is Rock Auto, and some places that specialize in these cars don't sell stuff that's as good. Now, you can use that you put right back here so your points won't wear down. But what I'm trying to say to you is, so you run into this kind of problem, that's going to work fine. Some of these are big around, they're little around, and the other thing you need to know about points is you have to clean them before you install them because there's oil in there and you will lose a fair amount of your longevity in your points if you don't clean them. But don't clean them till you need them. And if you're on the road, just run a cloth through them and just wipe them off and clean them with some brake clean when you get home. Now, these 6 here are for the Jaguar. And so they're supposed to be 25 thousandths. I will use this thing, but I don't love it because they do wear out right there and it gives you kind of a funky read. But that's okay. You can just get a new one, I guess. So this is supposed to, and they say you don't have to worry about checking your, I'll use this one kind of just for ease. So let's see if it's at 25 thousandths. No, it's at 35 thousandths. Now, that's probably okay. Let's just think about this thing. That's 35. Now, if they're all 35, you better have electronic ignition. Probably okay. Now, see, that one is 32 thousandths. And let's put a 25 in there, and you just, it just kind of flops around in there. Yeah, so this thing, although I don't love them, I think I got about 4 or 5 of them. So we got 35, 32, and 35. Now the trick to these is, I hate to do this on camera, but I will. You kind of got to get the feel of it, and you can get her down. See, I got her down about 5 thousandths. Don't get too robust on that. See, not a couple of thousandths off. And now you're right at 25. Okay, so that's 3 down, 3 to go. One more town and one more show. Leave it. Okay, that one's 33 thousandths. Now you can't do this on platinum plugs and stuff like that because you'll just knock off the platinum. So that's 35. These are all outside of the Jaguar parameters. Yeah, that one's almost 36. So, just for fun. See, I knocked 6 thousandths off just by tapping it like that. And if you go a little too far, you can do this if you want to, but this is actually designed to pull back on it And, you know, here I'll show you. You can fit that in there and you can pull back on it a little bit. And that's what that hole is designed for. It's not just a keyring hole. So we gave her a couple of thousandths anyway. I don't want a couple of thousandths. So that's the way that works. Okay, so she's getting the new plugs and the new points. I might pull the distributor back out of her. Oh, somebody's handprint there. And so let's start on. I'm going to powder coat and pull this off and look in here. So let's pull that oil pan off. I got the air hooked up. My very rare use of this pneumatic tool, which it scares the hell out of me. I've seen people just pull threads straight out of stuff. I never ever tighten with an air tool. Right, Larry? Don't use power tools to tighten stuff or you'll break it. Within reason. I mean, you know, the big stuff like lug bolts, I mean, you can as long as you retorque them and make them right. But you know what I mean. Everything with a measure of sanity and reason and common sense. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. Bark, 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 bark. Super chicken. Okay, well that's 2 coats, and I brought her out here in the sun, and then see all the clear sky, and I don't have any sun, but that's okay. The UV's getting it. Now, I gotta tell you, I am pretty studious about keeping my stuff clean. I just got the oil pan off this thing. I don't get it. Maybe it's just residual. There's the new high volume. See, it's new. This car is so low that you have to put this jar up here so you can't get it there. So I got all the hardware in there. And up there's that block I was telling you about. And I'll have to get. We're not going to use gaskets here anymore. Don't seem to be worth the trouble. So, okay, you ready? Boy, I'm not. Let's go out here and I'll show you what's in the pan. The pan has been off just for a minute or two. Look at that. Now, come on. Look how much oil you got in there. That drained for 20 hours. So you got to do the old classic, run your finger around in it. And it just feels like your normal everyday sludge. I don't think I'm going to need to crank up the power washer for this. I got the ultrasonic heating up. That is just unreal. I am ashamed. Well, it ain't me. I'm trying to keep the oil changed. There's some gasket material. Let's double check that. Yeah, that's all it is. Is that all it is? Okay, well, let's go wipe this out and parts washer. I'm going to just put it in the normal everyday parts washer for now, and then I will, it's so windy in here, got to lower that door. Don't you feel like crying? I'll tell y'all a little secret if you do it carefully. The way to get silicone off is with brake clean. If you spray it and keep it kind of wet with brake clean and you hit it with a wire brush, it'll loosen it. And see, look how nice that is. See, there's no silicone anywhere. It came off pretty easy. Between that and the electric brush over there, things end up pretty good. Now, I've been heating up my fluid. Oh, that's going to hit. Oh, that's okay. Alright, so my guess is, let's see if this is true or not. It's getting hot. And I am going to clean this to pieces. So let's see if I can get this in here all the way here. Take the drain plug out and let you. Ooh! Well, I'll take that. Okay, you ready? So here's my respirator. It's a 7586, I guess, with whatever these are. But if you don't believe you ought to wear your respirator, I'm not going to even take that off. I'm going to show you something. see, look how clean that is, and look at that. Powder coating and all the other stuff that people do. Yeah, you better be mindful and wear this thing. I don't think I want powder coated lungs. Okay, so I got to make some decisions here, and I don't know quite what to do, but I don't believe this to be a complicated motor. And I also believe that I don't want too much complication in the oil filtration system. I think running an oil cooler and exterior mounted or remote mounted oil filter is just not the way to do it. So I think it's time to get the snippy snips and pull that off, the cooler, that is. As much as I love it, I don't love it enough to cause flow problems. Now, I have a mechanical oil gauge in this car, like all race cars should, and and a mechanical water gauge, as we've talked about. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at that speedometer cable thing. Maybe it's just come off the back. I can look underneath there. So let's get this out of here, and we will. I got some cardboard down there. Let me get a catch and get that off of there, and make sure that that kit over there works. You don't usually run into trouble with this, but you can, where the filters. I'm sorry about the wind. I can't do this. I can't keep the damn box open. So, I'll show you what I did. Here's. I don't want to keep it open too long. It's too windy. I took. Okay, I took this and I put it red Loctite in there and locked tight. Loctited. How do you say that? It's like Lexi or Foceyes. Well, we have Foceyes in the families. Hawkeye. That's from Sunset Boulevard with William Holden and Gloria Swanson. Hawkeye. He was the cameraman, I think. So you've got to make sure that this is going to fit the car over there. So let's go find that out. To make this as complete as possible, you're going to get your safety wire and put in there. I don't think I'm going to have that problem. Let's go in fraction. I think, how big is that thing? Ooh, it's not exactly sharp on the angles, is it? Well, 1 inch. I've heard that it's 1 inch. Okay, so put that there. Let's see what these are like. These are 7/8, okay? And don't come with clamps. And they say you can just push these on. Not me, babe. I ain't doing it that way. No, I'm putting clamps on them. I think I got enough to spare. So let's, just wanted to kind of make it as complete as I could. So the key now is, does this fit the car? You know, you just can't have those on the floor. They step on it, sounds like you're breaking the back of some animal, little animal or something. It's awful. So I try to pick them up, but sometimes I get running late. So I was curious about, this has been sitting 1 day. So let's see how much oil is in this thing. Okay, I cracked it loose and I didn't see any drops. Well, my guess would be after 1 day, not a flipping drop in there after 1 day. Boy, that's a hell of a nice drain back valve in this thing, huh? Well, guess not. All right, well, let's get this off. Oh, let me show you this too. If you're going to be doing this stuff, I think more and more people are going to start doing their oil changes. I hope so, much as they can. And then you need one of these, this metal can, and you put your spent oil filters in there and take them and they press them and get a bunch of oil out of them. So be sure and recycle those, okay? All Alright, I did a pretty good job putting this cooler in here. So there she goes. Try not to do any damage on the way. Remember that it's full of oil. It's not full of stars, it's full of oil. So you've got to drain it out. And my thing's over there, yeah. Okay, let's see where we are here. Now, I got that fitting off down there that was attached to the block for the oil cooler. There's that adapter for that, so we don't need that anymore. Keep all that stuff together though. Now if you don't know it, you see that big nut sticking out down there? Behind that is your oil pressure relief spring. If you did not know what that was and you have one of these, or if you do know what that is and you have one of these, you better take it out and check it. I feel like I did mine pretty not long ago. So you got to have this. I can't tell you what size that is, but if you don't have this adapter, you're in deep stuff. I'd like to thank everybody who has donated. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little Loctite on that little blue. Oh, it's got some mess in it. I didn't see that. Oh, some kind of hard mess. I didn't even know. I just thought that would be clean. I got a new powder coat color I've mixed up. I need to brake clean that and get that little bits off. And if you brake clean it, it will hold the blue Loctite a little better. Okay, let's see what we can do here. You can just barely see that down there, can't you? Right there's where we're going. That's cleaned and got some blue Loctite on it. So let's put that in, and as finger tight as possible would be your prayer here. I don't see any reason in taking this off and cleaning it, but I kind of actually do. Let's get a little bit of oil right there. See that little bit of oil? And put on there. Guess you could run over and get a little Silk Glide, but I don't think you need it. I'm hoping that this out one comes out on the downside, on the down low, but I don't know if that's going to be true or not, but it's going to be okay. Got a whole lot more room in here. Well, let's see. So this is supposed to be on as tight as an oil filter. Well, I'm going to have to just take what I get here. That don't make me real happy. Comes out about 10 o'clock. I wish it came out at 6 o'clock. Okay, so it says it takes up to 90 psi. Now, okay, let's see if we got enough hose to do this thing. Last night I dressed in tails pretending I was on the town. Let's go get some little clamps. I think that's enough to get me around the bend here. And I don't think one needs to be any longer than the next one. Let's put it up on a clean area. Yeah, I kind of got an idea what I'm going to do here. I took all this down and fiberglassed it some time ago. And I think we're going to probably be okay. I got to think about where I'm going to mount. I got to see where the hose is going to let me mount it. Now the whole point of this is to mount the thing up and down so you won't lose oil charge. So, I guess one of the good parts of that is that it'll hold oil a little better in the container. Okay, that's probably about as tight as you dare go. All right, let's get some clamps. Let's see if I can find any in my 7 million clamp menagerie over there. So when you do this, don't forget to get everything done. Don't slip your hoses on till the end. So when I went to tighten up those fittings, they actually spun the thing around a little bit more. So it's okay with me. And as you can tell, I got some sealant on there. They say do that, and I did, and that tightened up real good. So So I'm going to have to do a little bit of pull tie work around here and get things going. But that looks pretty doggone good. I'm happy with that. Is this thing running out already? Ain't too bad. Okay. I'm only doing that for you, so I hope you appreciate that. All right, so now what we've got, actually I don't think I need that anymore. I think we're going to get enough reflection like we get off the TR4. So here are my two lines, and I have to find some way to get, I don't know, I guess I'm going to have to just put that thing on there and just think it over. Let's see where we stand back there on the ultrasonic cleaning of the oil pan. Are you ready for your eyes to glaze over? If you want that to happen, read the instructions because they're not very good. I have to say, they're not very descriptive. And if you don't have a working knowledge of this thing, you're in trouble. Okay, so we all know, and if we don't all know, we're about to. The oil goes in here, into these holes. That's where the oil goes into the filter, and the oil comes out the big hole. So why does it do that? Well, there's a whole lot more filter media on the outside of the filter media than there is on the inside. And you can also tell this to be true because there is a metal screen in there. How many times you watch oil filter things? I've probably watched too many. So you want the oil to go in here and all that other stuff. Okay, a couple other things have happened. Use your seal glide when you slip the hoses on. Make sure you're done. Make sure your clamps are there. Make sure everything's tight. 20-something pounds on these things. So what you got here, it has turned up like I think I said. The upper one is out. The lower one is back in. And they are sealed by those tubular threaded devices. So this one's out. See? This one's out. And so you've got to make this one go in. See, you can't see it probably, but this is the in one, of course. And the in one will send the oil through the filter that way. The filtered oil will come into this hole and out here, and that's the lower hose. And the lower hose goes back into the in. So you've got to do this correctly. I guess you could do it the other way, but don't. I guess you could. I guess there's probably a lot of these that have been put in incorrectly. I hope that is not true, and I don't mean to be like a know-it-all saying anything like that. But I've studied this for a long time. So let's double check. So we got the Audi is the upper hose. Upper hose. Let's double check that. Okay, upper hose. And let's just push on it. Well, I can tell by the feel of it. You can't see that. So Audi goes innie to the remote, and so that's in, and then the out from the remote goes to the center or the in of this. So we have to be sure and strike all this stuff down. Now I've come to another conclusion too. I'll show you in just a second. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is okay. And you can order more hose if you want to, but don't think that I need to. And I believe what I'm about to tell you is going to be okay. So here comes the tricky part. We've got this Schaefer. Oh, I meant to get something back there. I'll get it in a minute. I won't forget. So I got this Schaefer's oil, and I got my new 2050 5-gallon bucket of it right there. So I got 3 flavors of oil. So I have to put you down. I've been putting you down a lot lately. You know, always remember the shirts, shake up your oil, and get the additive package off the bottom. And I don't know how much this is going to hold. I imagine pretty close to the original manufacturer's. I don't remember what it calls for. But I'm going to put 3 or 4 in it and check it. Well, come on. Finally. So if you don't hold your oil like this, you'll spill it more. It'll go glug glug. So we're going to put some oil in this. and just we're going to crank it over. It can't be any worse than it was before, eh? Okay, so we're going to put that much more in there, and that's going to be all we're going to put. That's going to be something. Now this car is interesting in that I can turn it over without the ignition on. So you take this and you put that there for later consumption, or hopefully not consumption. So that's about halfway up. Now I'll tell you my dilemma and what I'm going to do. I was hoping I'd have a little bit more hose than this, but I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put I can get the oil filter to about this angle, and then I can screw it on and not spill that oil I just put in the filter. And then there's 2 holes already down there for the oil cooler that was here, and then she's going to go right there. She's going to go sideways. I'm not afraid of it leaking back because it's a full 3 or 4 inches under this. So let's stand back and look. So that's down there at quite an angle, maybe more than that. So I'm not afraid of that at all. I'm very happy that it's like that. So there ain't no way that filter's going to drain back into this. Yes, it will be a pain to change. You'll have to put a cloth under it, and you're going to spill it everywhere. And I'm still happier. I'd rather spill oil than have a lack of oil. And you can hear in the background, we're about ready to powder coat because I'm about through with this part of the project. Not a sponsor. So I'm done, I think, with this. I got a little bit more tying down to do. I'll get those in a minute. I think they're over there. It's so damn windy. Okay, so I got some baling wire, and I wondered for years why they call that baling wire, because I didn't grow up on a farm. That's for baling hay. But anyway, you hear it mentioned. I used to think it had something to do with a bale, B-E-L-L, but it's B-A-I-L, baling wire. If you were wondering, I might have explained something to you. So I went through the 2 holes that were there for the oil cooler. I had this little piece of foam right there. So I made her a nice little pillow to rest on. And I tell you what I do is I shove a screwdriver in here and carefully used the 1-inch thing there to tighten her up. And I don't think I spilled a drop. And so that was good. I only could do that halfway up because then I have to take this up and tilt it to put that in. But I tell you the truth, as bad as it's been, I mean, probably a little overkill on my part putting that in there, but I just feel better doing it. So let's see about getting, you might be wondering how I'm getting up in there. I made this box, this whole box, because, and all this stuff is to seal the radiator, around the radiator, so air goes through the radiator, see? That's the whole point. So I've got some wire here. There's my fan fuse. This down here is relatively forgiving, so I don't see any problems down there. Might stick a foam piece in there and not tie it anyway. And so I worked kind of hard to do that when I did the oil cooler. And you can see right there where it comes out. And I got that piece of cotton. And I don't feel like it's hitting that rim. I guess if it does, I'll be the first to know, huh? So anyway, there's not too much contortion or bends on any of that. So I'm just going to get some pull ties and pull tie her down. How come I got 2 fan ones? Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Let's not devolve into that world. Okay, there you go. There's that. And I'm going to be powder coating here in just a minute. I got so excited I forgot about the most important thing. So let's keep hold of them. I'm not going to use them, but so let's get back to our show here. What car is it? Whoa! Stinking Lincoln. Oh my God. Whose idea was that? Okay, but anyway, it's just a matter of goes here. I know what you're thinking. I could do red, white, and blue, right? Well, that's the beauty of a little bit of a back order there. You get another one of these. Well, let's take a look here. Let's take a little break while things are shaping out here. So here's this piece of furniture that was all busted up, and we're going to. Now I'm going to have to fill it a little bit more, I think, but I'm not showing. Well, I don't want to get too much paint on the lens either. So that's all you got to do. And see, that actually don't look too bad. Let's put a little bit more in there. And see if you go all the way around. Oops. I keep thinking I'm going to get paint on the lens. So if you do it all the way around, it looks even. That ain't great, but it ain't terrible. It's greater than it was. You might be surprised if you don't do the underneath that you will see. Oh God, there's paint on this camera already. Wonder how that happened. So, I don't know. I think that's going to be okay. Okay, I've run this oil pan. There's the hardware. I've run this oil pan a couple of times in hot water, and the paint's just flying off of it. Oh, well, guess you want to see it, huh? Okay, so the paint, once again, just with everything's hot. I've already been cleaning on it, so I'm just going to knock off a little bit of this paint, and then we're going to put it, clean it, put it in the oven, and powder coat it. Well, I've got this powder coated a silvery green. Isn't that pretty? And that's got a good long time to go yet. The damn seal on the oven door came loose. The darn seal, darn it. This takes a long time to do, but it sure is worth it. It's just, you don't have to worry about them rusting or anything. So I put my 10,000 volts through there. But I want to do that first, and then these. So I'm kind of running late, and I'm not probably going to get this back together tonight. So I think I've got enough in this one to where we can make another part tomorrow. So I just love her. I can't help it. I love them all. So anyway, obviously I do, or I wouldn't put this kind of time in them. Well, let's get those things powder coated, and then we'll call it a night. And oh, I gotta keep. I'm gonna remind myself. I've got to go around the oxygen sensor in this car. Yes, it does have one, only because it's got an air-fuel ratio meter. It's right there. I want to go around that and make sure she's not going to leak. I was thinking of plugging up the tailpipe and going right here and smoking it and seeing if that, would tell me, just kind of for fun. There's really not much of another way. It might be an interesting video, hey? But nah, not really. I got a smoker right over here. And for me, smoker does not mean barbecue, because I don't eat barbecue. So anyway, I might do that. That might be fun. I got to get some oil for that thing. I got all kind of notes to make. Got all kinds of little stuff to do. Let's pull that thing out here in a little bit. And I got to put it somewhere. I didn't even think about where to put it. Oh, yeah, I know where to put it. Okay. Let's do a little table update here. I got one of these claws off. Gosh, I hope the other ones match. Now, the thing to do here, is keep the bees out of your nose. Don't clean that. Okay? Just, you want to, but don't. That's natural patina. These are the little Edie nails that hold it in on the sides. Now, if the other ones are a little too big, which I think is possible, I'll just change all of them. There's a little piece of the bonneville carpet. This is the hardware. This is what makes me think it's so old, this slot. So, and just the quality of it, it's actually a nice piece. You go buy a screw like this today and it'll weigh a third as much. So that's a nice thing right there. So I'm working. I've made a template of where is it? Oh, I don't know what I did with it. It don't matter. What did I do with it? I got to know what I did with it. There it is. I was going to come over here to the table saw and do some work. So I made a silhouette basically of the legs. And you got to remember it's a little flat right here and then like that. So the other thing you got to keep in mind on things like this is that it is tapered. It's a good fair bit fatter here than it is here. So how do you compensate for that if you just got a car shop? Well, you get a hunk of wood. I tell you what, you got to have a pintail to do, stuff like this, right? You got to have that kind of tip. So the only way I can do a taper is to get a piece of wood that's pretty close and then glue on a wooden shim, and then I'll be able to kind of work it out from there. And I'm hoping that this piece of paper will work for me. So I'm going to try to get the maximum amount I can out of that. And so we're going to put this where I won't lose it again. So it'll take till tomorrow to get this going. Just wanted to keep you guys in shape here. And I've got to get. I'll tell you the truth, to using those filler pencils and wood filler is fill it, stain it best you can, and then put some clear coat on it. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, everything's got a back. Let's put this up here. So this is that base I've been working on. So at first glance, you can't tell what I did and didn't do. There's a little brown paint there, and then I clear coated it, and it's got a split right there. Oh, there goes the air compressor. So that's kind of the work right there. So, but when it's on the table and you got a knick-knack on it, I mean, don't put cinder blocks on it or anything like that. But when you got Aunt Margie's hand-thrown pot sitting right there, everybody's going to be looking at that. This is going to be secondary. So that turned out far better than I dreamed it would. And I could work on it for hours and hours, but it's just a knick-knack, patty-whack, give the dog a bone kind of a thing. Give Buddy a bone. And that's going to be quite the thing to do, but I can't wait to do it. So let's finish up. We'll look at the powder coat outcroppings here in a few minutes, and then we're going in. Kind of beat. Well, my smoker's working pretty good. You want to know what I use in it? You don't smell it so bad. I use that. It's just mineral oil, and it's kind of a messy, smelly thing, but it's at least it doesn't smell like burned babies. I know that was pretty bad, but it doesn't. So that's pretty good. Okay, so it's working. So we'll smoke them out tomorrow. So let's put an amen on this for tonight. Here is the oil pan. It's funny how when you mix powder coat, it does funny things. See how the green will go in one place. I did that on the Healy valve cover, and it looks perfect. But I don't know why. So there's the inside of it, and I shot a little bit up in there. I don't think it's going to hurt nothing. And so that's ready to go. Very beautiful, very clean. And I've got all the hardware done. You'll find there's different threads and everything because after a while these things become rather custom. They don't. You have to kind of get away from what the factory did because you don't have a darn choice. These go into the leading edge right here where I had the Healy coil, that funky aluminium brick up there. So looks like we got them here. If they don't jump, and I don't think they will, you will find that the ones on the side go all the way through the block. So those are the long ones. And then there are some that are more shallow. Some you may have had to thread yourself. And then there are other ones you just have to sort of plan your day. So I'm going to use this piece of cardboard here, and I'm going to draw this out, and then not like make it come out, not like drawing it out, but like using a pen, like this. So what you do is you go, that's my front thing, and then I'll go up there and I will poke these through, and I'll pull them out. I got to make sure they fit up in there. As always, the last thing you want, well, I missed those two, but I'll muddle through somehow. And you don't want anything to throw you astride here. Okay, so we'll just make little marks there, and then oh, it's that thing cooking down. So we'll do that later. I gotta go in now. So y'all take care of yourselves, and I appreciate you watching, sharing time with me and all that. And oh, it's almost 6. It is 6:30. Yeah, she's sort of spitting. That's what that is. I thought that might have been the groundhog or a bird coming in to attack me. So no groundhog in a while. His digs got a little sticky yesterday, and so hopefully he'll vamoosh like I need to do. Bye bye.